Hey guys, it's Erika, and I have a kind of sad slash happy ending story about this really big monstera that is sitting here next to me. And so we're gonna talk about it. It looks pretty good on camera from like what you're seeing, I think, but it doesn't look as good in person. And that is because on a really windy night here, this plant blew down. I had it on a little stand. It was so cute. It was living its best life, and it fell down on the ground. The pot that it's in is a clay pot. It was very cheap. I got it from Lowe's for like $12 or something. For a 10-inch pot that is made out of clay, I was like, wow, that is a great deal. And it was a great deal. But the thing is, the reason the pot was so cheap was because it would break if it fell on the ground, which it did. This poor little guy suffered a really nasty fall. A lot of branches broke. I still need to cut one off that broke off. And it was just overall a really sad sight to go out in the morning to take care of my plants and then see it on the ground. Really sad. But it gets very windy. It's kind of scary actually at night when you hear all the trees like hitting your window, but that is beside the point. This monstera is actually one that I potted up in a video and I staked it. And I'm gonna flip it around so you can see the full extent of what has happened. So I think that this is a more realistic view of the plant. Oh, you can see that he is tilted over. I staked it up in the video and it has just completely fallen over. So I need to repot it. And the whole reason why this is kind of like a happy ending too is because it is getting very hot where I live. It was like 100 degrees today. It's been like 90 degrees, but it's gonna get cold again next week. But this 100-degree weather kind of shows like it's gonna get very hot in the summertime. And let me tell you, this guy needed to be watered so often because I put the best draining soil of all time. This thing dried out in like in like 5 days, and it has the clay pot. So like really good draining soil in a clay pot. This thing needed to be watered very often. Not to mention that it has a moss pole that I needed to spritz daily, but I did not, so that the roots could attach to it. The aerial roots could attach to it. That didn't happen. So this is the good part. I can kind of adjust the soil mix that it's in. This is the pot that I have for it. It is plastic to keep as much moisture in for as long as possible because I don't want to be watering this plant every 3 days. That's just too much. That's just too much for me. And I don't know if you can see, but these 4 holes I drilled myself earlier today. My dad showed me how because he was probably tired of drilling the holes for me. But I'm so proud of this. Does that not look so good? So this is the same size pot, but it's a lot thinner than this pot. This pot is so heavy. Oh my gosh, moving this pot around is like crazy. So I'm very excited to have a lighter pot. It's thinner, so there's more room on the inside because they're the same size, but since the outer, like this is thick, there's less space for soil, if you know what I mean. So I'm just so excited to have this good pot, and I am going to mix this really well draining soil mix with my soil mix that I have made so that it can be kind of less well draining. I need it to retain a little bit more water so I don't have to water it every 3 days. I really like going outside in my backyard and taking care of my plants, but in the summer there are so many mosquitoes. They already started coming out. I got bit 5 times today just for being out there in like 20 minutes. I got bit 5 times, so I cannot be going out there every single day. Like I have mosquito spray, mosquito repellent that I put on before I got there. Nothing works. I'm being eaten alive, so I would like to reduce the amount that I need to go out there, even though I really like it out there. Pretty much I'm just gonna be repotting this plant today and restaking it. It's gonna be really hard to do. I think the first video that I filmed of potting up this plant, I had to stand up. I don't remember, but I just know it wasn't that easy. So I'm gonna try and do this. First, I'm going to take the plant out of this really beautiful but heavy pot. Here it is. I don't know if you can see that it's cracked, but it's cracked. You can see there's a broken. These leaves are kind of tarnished because they fell onto the brick floor. So I'm gonna unpot this as cleanly as possible. Probably not gonna be talking to you guys because I'm gonna be struggling and it's very hot right now. Here we go. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I think I am going to untie it from the stake and I'm gonna pull the stake out. Okay, I got a clean cat litter box because I don't want to pour this dirt out all over my floor. So I'm going to try and not break the leaves and get it out of this heavy pot. That actually worked so well. I'm so happy. I don't know if you can see what's going on. It's time to remove the soil off of the roots. The roots look very good. Okay, so there was quite a bit of root breakage from that, but I'm not too worried about it. It's not like a ton, but I do want to I want to use this soil still. I just want to mix it with some more like coco coir or something. So I'm going to try and remove all of the broken roots that I find. And if some of them stay behind, then whatever. But I do rather get them out. So I guess I'm gonna be working out of a cat litter box today. That was not planned, but it's actually really easy to do. So I might buy a container like this big because I do not want to be using a cat litter box. It's clean, okay? It's clean. It's been washed. I was planning on using my made soil again, but I feel like that's very well draining and I kind of want this to be not as well draining as that. So I think I'm gonna add in some Fox Farms, like the ocean forest one. I don't remember what it's called right now, but I think I'm gonna add some of that in here and then mix it up. I don't have any coco coir, I don't think, but if I did, I would use it instead of the Fox Farm mix. So I'm just gonna mix this all up. This still looks very well draining. So, but I think this is all the soil that I need. This is better than it was before, but I feel like it's not the best. But I also need to keep in mind that I am using a plastic pot this time, so it won't dry out as quickly. So I feel like this mix is okay. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more Fox Farm. Oh, you know what? I have Miracle Grow. I feel like that retains water very well. I'm gonna put in some Miracle Grow. So although this is cactus potting mix from Miracle Grow, it still retains a lot of moisture. So if this is what you use, I would recommend you add a bunch of perlite or some orchid bark or pumice just to make it a little bit more aerated, because this does retain a lot of water, and that is what I'm using it for right now, so that this soil can retain more water. So yeah, just a heads up if you use Miracle Grow, because I used to only use this and I would put like 50% perlite for all my mixes. But you can definitely see the difference between like this really well draining mix and then this Miracle Grow, like how much denser it looks. This one feels so light and airy, and then this one definitely feels more dense. Really, if you want to use Miracle Grow, I definitely recommend to add amendments. But I'm gonna mix this in now. This mix is still very light and airy, but I'm hoping that it doesn't dry out as quickly as it did before. And adding those two soil mixes definitely will help that. So I'm gonna lay a base down in my new tub that I poked these holes in all by myself. So right now I'm using this to catch any soil that falls out of these big holes. It's like right here, so it's like an inch deep. Sorry, I'm like way out of frame. It's like an inch deep, and it's time to put the plant in, and I also have to put the stake in too. So I'm gonna have to stand up again. So this is how deep I've put it. You can see there's a bunch of roots in here. I have this in here, but I'm going to pick it up as I add more dirt, so it'll be lifted like this. I ran out of soil, so I'm going to be using some of my mix, and that's a really well draining soil as well, but I'm not going to be adding any more amendments to it. I'm probably just going to add the rest of what's left in here and mix it up. It is so hot, let me tell you. That was a lot. This pot is definitely bigger than this one. They're the same size, but like I said, it's not as thick, so it holds more dirt. So I wasn't really expecting it to be this much bigger, but that's okay. We can work with it. And I also really think this one was so pretty. Well, not that side. I don't know, I just think the clay one was so pretty, so I'm kind of sad, but this is gonna be better for the plant. And now we get to stake it. So I found my my tomato ribbon, that's what I call it, and I could stake this baby up now, which I'm very excited about. Let me try and angle this for you to see what's going on. What I'm trying to do is pretty much get like the aerial roots where they would be onto the pole. That's my goal. It's kind of difficult. This plant has had sunlight from random angles since it fell, so it's kind of wonky. There are 4 or 5 different plants in this one plant. If you know what I mean, there's like 5 different stems coming out of this one plant, so gotta get them all on here. Alright, here it is. This is still kind of lopsided, but it's definitely a lot better. The stake is on straight, and these leaves are all facing different ways, but Monstera leaves move towards the sun, so it's definitely going to straighten out and kind of adjust itself. I think it looks pretty good. Considering what it's been through. I'm gonna try to be on top of, you know, wetting the moss pole so that it can grow up the moss pole, but it's gonna be difficult, especially when it's super hot and it's probably gonna dry out within like 2 hours. So I'm gonna water it, add some soil if I need to, and water the moss pole. Okay, I watered my plant. It didn't need any more soil. I kind of hit the air pockets pretty good. Yeah, it's still kind of draining onto my floor right now, but it does look a little bit sad right now, but that's because all the leaves are facing everywhere all crazy, and I actually need to cut this leaf off. I'm gonna do that right now, actually. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna need to find a thicker or bigger shears for that. But it got ripped when it fell and it snapped, so yeah, it's dead. So I have 3 ties on this plant. There's like 3 small, like little baby monsteras in here. So as they grow, I'll kind of attach them to the pole because they're not very close to the pole right now. And I would have put the pole more centered, but then I would have hit a lot of the roots and I really wanted to avoid that. Let me turn it for you. So I think it looks so good. Everything is like up straight and it looks really good. I'm very happy with the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was pretty much just me repotting this giant monstera. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get it to climb up the pole. I have a feeling it's gonna be growing a lot during the summer, so I'm gonna try and stay on top of the watering for it because I already can tell it's gonna dry out pretty quickly. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was kind of entertaining. I feel like it was a little bit disturbing that I had to use a cat litter box to mix my soil in, but it was clean. I'm gonna keep saying that because oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!